Welcome to the first episode of the Fascist Alternative. I am your host, Timmy Johnson. Joining me at another location that is not going to be discussed is my co-host, Ryan Anderson. Ryan, how you doing?
Hola, mi amigo.
So this is the first episode of this podcast. We're just going to have to get a feel for it as we go for the layout and whatnot. But yeah, so we worked together and just decided to kind of shoot a podcast. And, you know, if you like it, you can subscribe to it. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Hopefully by the time you're hearing it, it is on iTunes and hopefully Google Play.
My mom's already committed to giving us a 5-star review, so we got that in the bank already.
So hopefully everybody just gives us these 5-star reviews.
So you want to go over what people could expect from this podcast?
Yeah, so pretty much this is going to be kind of the fascist alternative. So from the dudes' point of view. So The Big Lebowski, if everyone is familiar with that film, we are really big fans of it. And this is going to kind of be through the eyes of the dude.
It's humorous. Not too serious, just like the dude. There's plenty of seriousness out there. There's a little humor for everyone.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to...
if people haven't seen The Big Lebowski by now, they should probably turn S2 off and go watch it real quick.
It was like 97 or somewhere around there.
It was 98, I believe.
98.
Set in 1990, though.
Yeah, it is a cult classic. For sure. And hopefully I don't know about this year, but I definitely want to go to Lebowski Fest. And maybe we could actually do a live show from a Lebowski Fest. Because I know there's some other podcasts out there that actually like to do live shows, but I don't know if anybody would be even remotely interested in doing a live one at a Lebowski Fest. Just hear a lot of bowling.
There's nothing wrong with a good couple of lanes.
Nope. Couple frames. No big deal.
A couple of frames of bowling. Maybe get ourselves ordained as Buddhist or as Dudist monks. Excuse me.
Well, my wife is. I don't know if she ever sent it in, but she did at one point have a certificate that she was a Dudist priest.
Nice.
Which you have read.
Worst things in the world.
Yeah, you have read those books, though, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I have dabbled a little bit in Dudism. I wouldn't call myself a priest.
You're just testing the waters of the Dudeism.
I say you probably embody more of the dude than I do. I'm a little more high-strung than you are. You're a little more mellow. I'm trying to get there.
I can be it sometimes. But anyway, this segment of the show, and we're going to have to play around with some of the sound effects and stuff that go into these because we're still trying to get familiar with copyrights and stuff like that so we don't get shut down as quick. But this is a segment that we like to call Over the Line. So, my Over the Line story for this week is I was going down the road to get my hair cut at a buddy of mine's barbershop. And all of a sudden, the traffic just came to like a complete stop. It's like everybody was just stopped. I was like, what the fuck? It was like 8 o'clock, but really you don't usually see like rush hour traffic or anything down the highway near my house because I live in a really small
sticks.
Yeah, small town. That was a pause to take a sip of a beverage.
Adult
beverage.
Would it be a White Russian?
No, I did. See, I was gonna do that, but I did not have the time to go get because it like it's just not a 2-part deal. You got to get everything. So I just had a couple brewskis in there. So I was like, you know what? Might as well knock back a couple.
I
beverages.
have my beverage of choice in front of me, a good old Mountain Dew throwback.
I can't do that.
I being one of them teetotalers that won't drink alcohol. I have to do something to get my fix.
I can't. I don't like the throwbacks. That's just.
I love them.
Reminds
me of being at Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Do you think it's like the sugar? I don't know. Or am I a more fan of high fructose corn syrup?
I think you're addicted to high fructose corn syrup. It's good sugar. It's good for you. It's natural. It's basically like drinking fruit juice.
But we were all of a sudden these cars were stopped, and I kind of like, you know how you like dip out of the lane and dip back in so you can kind of see what's going on down the road. And I was looking, I was like, what the fuck is that? In which actually, parental advisory, there's probably going to be a lot of fucks. So,
just like the movie.
yeah, yep. The dude liked he had a lot of
drop a few F-bombs.
What I like to call salt and pepper. Just add a little salt and pepper to the conversation. Never hurt no one.
Little sentence enhancers
Yes.
for SpongeBob fans out there.
But I was like, what the fuck is going down? And then all of a sudden I saw this fucking turkey. This giant, it was a pretty big turkey. That, like,
We talking wild turkey or domestic
no,
turkey?
like a wild turkey. Like, no pun intended on the fucking alcohol. But this wild turkey just started like attacking cars. Like, I saw him, like, I don't know if they have like big spurs or anything like a chicken does.
Oh yeah, they got big old spurs. You don't want to mess with a turkey,
But
wild turkey.
he just like started digging into the cars ahead of me. I was like, oh my god, these.
Wait a minute, hey, was it foreign cars or domestic?
I think it was domestic.
Oh, I thought if it's foreign cars, it might be a Trump supporting turkey.
No, it was. He was pissed off about something though. I don't even know what his views were, his political views, but he was very angry. But
Yeah, it's getting close to Thanksgiving. You start getting a little high strung this time of year.
did you hear the groan? The dog just kind of like went to his side.
Yeah.
He's done.
If you don't like my jokes, you can go elsewhere.
He just let out a loud. But no, it's like if you see something in the road and you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be that person that like puts a lot of pressure on this animal and like make it move. I'm not gonna fucking stop. And then like, I was, it was my turn with the turkey, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. If this bastard goes under my fucking tire, fuck him. He's gonna die. No, I stopped and I let him just flail around. He didn't dig his spurs or anything into the side of the car, but it was pretty entertaining. But then I just went over.
I can't say I've ever came close to taking out a turkey. I've came close to taking out a peacock one time, but
Those bastards are mean too.
yeah, they are.
My mom almost hit a cow one time. I forget where she was, but they about came close, very close to hitting a cow. I don't think they would have won that battle.
Now you ain't gonna win a battle with a cow.
Now this beverage was a can. There's that one.
The remains.
Yep, this one's a bottle. Let's see if we can get
So I don't know. Have you ever been around many domestic turkeys versus wild turkeys?
No.
Domestic turkeys are what we call morons in the business. They've bred all the intelligence out of them.
Yeah.
They got big boobs though. It's kind of like a lot of women are like
Oh yeah.
dumb with big breasts.
Then they just
Wild turkeys are known for being actually fairly intelligent.
really.
Yeah, they're able to fly short distances and they're pretty elusive.
Well, I know, like,
Yeah,
don't
be
they
that way
like
to be out in the wild.
they like roost and stuff at night? I guess, but
Oh yeah, they'll roost. They'll climb. They'll be up in the trees a little bit. I've ran across them here and there out fishing.
yeah. No, he was. And then like I looked in my rearview mirror as I was pulling away, and he was just like, still just pissed off about you. I was like, God damn, this.
See, he's the one that needs to follow the dudist message of just mellowing out a little bit, relaxing, maybe finding a hen somewhere.
That's what he's probably looking for, but he didn't find it where we were.
Yeah, that gets many a guy high strung.
So what's your over the line and
So I think this is going to tie into some of the stuff we've seen today. But I seen a nice political ad on the USA Today earlier this week, and it kind of made me laugh. It's going over all this kneeling we're seeing in the NFL games, and it's a picture of two overweight fat guys sitting in the recliners, beverage in hand, big America hats on.
I'm sure whatever beverage they
Kick back
had
recliner.
was probably like marketed by an American flag.
Oh yeah, Budweiser with the American flag on it. Real Americans. Talking about how demeaning, how upsetting it was to them for these players to be not standing for the national anthem. Well, the national anthem's on the TV, and they're sitting in the recliner. I thought it was kind of ironic. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, they won't even stand up when they're fucking sitting on their ass.
Oh, hell no. These guys sitting at home drinking beer, hand down their pants or whatever, complaining about guys out there getting their heads knocked in, trying to make a difference.
Just trying to... Yeah, that's definitely everywhere. Twitter.
I don't know why in the world we have the national anthem in front of every sporting event in this country.
Yeah. It plays every.
I don't understand
even
it.
when I was like running demolition derbies and stuff like that, they still play that stuff. Motorsports, doesn't matter what sport.
It's like we're communist China or something. You got to make an oath to the flag every time to prove your loyalty. Especially for the people who really claim to real Americans, you think you would not want you're claiming your freedom.
Yeah.
You're expressing your freedom.
Which it's kind of like, which I think is kind of fucked up on the same deal. Like, which I've never been to court or have been had to do an oath or whatever. But don't they still have to place their hand on the Bible?
Yep.
It's like,
yes, they do. I've always wondered if you were an atheist, you placed your hand on the Bible, are you allowed to lie?
It's like,
I mean, I guess legal speaking, you're not allowed to lie.
But
you're expected to tell the truth, regardless if you're religious.
Is that do you have to?
No, I don't imagine.
But
you
I'm
have
sure
because you don't have to, as well. Like the president taking the oath of office, they normally place their hand on a Bible, but that's just a precedent set by George Washington. That has nothing to do with anything in the Constitution.
Yeah.
And some presidents have chosen different books.
And I'm sure, like, if let's say you're that guy that before they're starting a trial, and you're like, I don't believe in this, and I don't want to do this.
That's a good way to get out of jury, maybe.
Well, I'm saying like the jury, like whatever jury is, at your trial or whatever, and you refuse to put your hand on the Bible, like, well, fuck this guy.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't.
Especially in Indiana. Those folks around the country. We are in southern Indiana.
Fuck this guy. He didn't put it.
Picture America circa 1950. It's kind of where we're at right now.
He didn't put his hand on the Bible. He's guilty.
He must be a commie.
He is a communist. I know we kind of rambled there off that, but I mean, it's kind of related.
Well, it's kind of related. I mean, it's just expression. Supposed to be expressing yourself, and it's the guys who have no idea what they're talking about that were having the biggest fit about it. You never walked a minute in their shoes, so just shut up.
All right. Well,
it's like if an NFL player was complaining about them kissing their cousin. I mean, you have no experience in that.
Well, some mind.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's kind of, I don't even have an article like under, on my iPad or anything right now, but Nelly just got picked up for some type of fucking.
Well, I think it was
rape.
rape.
It was rape
in Washington State. Like why in the world would a world famous musician ever have to rape a woman?
That's what I was talking to some
Lord,
dudes
that's the whole reason you
about.
become a musician is to meet chicks.
You shouldn't have a problem, but I guess.
Yeah, you should have a problem.
It's like the thrill of the hunt. Like, if you're gonna rape him.
She told me no, I can't have that. It's only like 50 other women waiting on me.
My career is still thriving, which it's really not.
I have no idea if it's still thriving. I haven't heard a Nelly song in so long.
Well,
that would be my genre of music.
He had a shitty fucking. It was like he had a like a feature in like a fucking Florida Georgia Line song not too long ago. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That was like.
I thought he was out with a country artist touring the country.
Oh my god,
that's an odd couple.
You are you need money. If you're in that position, you're gonna get on tour with
A country act in the county fairs.
They're not even like country. They're like poppy. To each their own. If you like that type of music, that's cool. But like, that's just we're rockers.
Yeah.
Like, who said that? Joe Dirt.
I am not. I don't mind a little older country, a little Johnny Cash kind of stuff. But he had some musician stuff. It's modern stuff. It doesn't appeal to me.
Really, all the newer stuff really is like, all they talk about is drinking beer, which I like beer, but it just seems like they're just like, I don't know, just pressing it, just like cornfield, drink beer, and America.
Gotta say America.
You're gonna have at least fucking 2 million album sales if you have a song that has to do with.
You're on the front with a pickup truck and a dog and a flag.
Something about 9/11.
Certified platinum.
You are gonna fucking sell records. Well, we are gonna get into some of the news, in which we have some articles that are a little bit more controversial. But here's some kind of sillier ones. So
I don't know if we're gonna go too. I mean, I think we were saving the late-term abortion debate for the second episode, but I thought we were going to be fairly lighthearted today.
All right, here's some news.
High school. Sky High Chopper 13 was over Cristo Rey Jesuit High School this evening. Hazmat crews were called to the school after several people reported feeling ill from an unknown odor. It turns out the source of the odor was a pumpkin spice plug-in air freshener.
Like plug-in.
Baltimore High School was evacuated and 5 people taken to a hospital on Thursday in a hazmat scare that turned out to be a pumpkin spice air freshener.
So right now we got all these folks, the vaping's the big trend. You don't think anyone kind of did a little shenanigans with the pumpkin spice to get them a hit while they're in school, do you?
So here's some quotes from that. It was a smell that they certainly weren't used to. The school's president said,
I hope so.
Told it
normally smells like BO and jockstraps.
Said it appeared to be getting stronger. The school was evacuated with emergency medical teams treating some people on the scene as the Baltimore City Fire Department's hazmat unit investigated the odor. Can you imagine? All these.
I'm telling you, someone has messed with the Glade plug-in, got the vape stuff in there, get them a nicotine fix. They ain't waiting the third period to get it fixed.
They would have, it's fucking pumpkin spice. Like, what the fuck? A strange odor. It's fucking October.
It's October. It's potpourri
It's going to be very, very big hints of fucking pumpkin spice. Which you would have thought, I don't know where the school, where they say it was. You would have thought all the fucking basic bitches would have known about the pumpkin. Oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Did we get
it's marijuana
pumpkin spice? They would have been going to the cafeteria asking for pumpkin spice lattes and shit, but probably what they would have got was like shitty coffee with like a spritz of fucking pumpkin.
You think high schools have coffee now?
Probably not.
I don't remember. I didn't have that in my school. Some of them are wired up enough as it was. Imagine knocking back a couple of cappuccinos.
Now, they just I know near the end when I graduated, they were putting timers on the Coke machines and stuff. So you couldn't access the Coke machines if it wasn't at lunch or at break or something like that.
We never had it. We had the Coke machines, but they were only open. They had them under lock. And right during lunchtime, they'd unlock it for you. That's the only time of the day you could get to it.
They put a padlock on it?
Well, it was like a closet looking deal, and they had the door locked. So they'd unlock it, and we'd go up there and drink some sodas.
Let's see here. What do we got on the...
We didn't have pumpkin spice in my high
Which
school.
I don't even think...
I went to a rural high school. It was more of a kind of a cow shit smell most of the time.
Which I don't even remember pumpkin spice really being that big back, the early 90s, late 90s, like early 2000s, like everybody wasn't giving a fuck about pumpkin spice, but now all of a sudden, pumpkin spice.
So, I mean, some of the weird stuff people are trying to smoke and get high with lately. You don't think someone was trying to smoke some pumpkin
No,
spice?
they're
do
probably
you?
fucking huffing fucking pumpkin like seeds and shit.
Huff and Glade. I don't know. I like to know who the first person is that figures out some of the stuff they smoke.
What is it?
My God, that potpourri looks like it could get me high.
I hate, there was like with the, like, what do they call that? Synthetics and stuff like that. Like, yeah,
The synthetic marijuana or the K2 or whatever it was.
If you, all that shit is just like fucking potpourri sprayed with shit. Like, yeah,
Stuff from
just,
China.
well, let's spray it with,
A little bit of lead, some ground up
The high
babies.
you're getting is actually like you almost dying. Like,
Yeah. It's your brain losing oxygen.
this high is so good.
I had insights there. Yeah.
But
We were
speaking
dying.
of that, did you like? I don't have, I'd have to bring it up, but like, Shane, we're wrestling fans. Shane McMahon just made like some type of contribution to some marijuana, but some type of
Like a company,
like a grow operation or something like that, or
like California or Colorado. Or
he
somewhere
just made
illegal
like
right
a
now.
fucking some type of investment to it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he invested in marijuana." But really,
Oh my God, that's
it's
horrible.
really the future. He's gonna make a.
I mean, I'm not one to. I've smoked it in my life, but I wouldn't smoke it if it's legalized. But I think both of us would be stated. We both think it should be legal. I think it's a waste of time to police it.
Shit. If
Ruin people's lives over smoking a little weed.
if they legalize it tomorrow, which I have to take the interstate, which we work together, so you live closer than I do.
Yeah.
I take the interstate every day, and every fucking day they have these barrels just lined up on the interstate there, and it always just it's 2 lanes. You're going fine. Everything's going good. You're going about respectable speed, 75, and then all of a sudden it's
90.
let's go down to 25 because they just brought it down to 1 lane.
Well, you know why? Because people are incapable of merging together.
And then
It's like giving them a
then-
trigonometry
and, like,
problem. Sitting there scratching their
Yeah.
head. Now, what do I do? I get over? Are you sure about that?
and then they had a Friday. There was a wreck. Like they wreck more than anything going to merge. Like there was a
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's a complicated
and
problem.
then, like
It's like you got to let one lane go, and then you merge, and then the other person.
and then like
There's-
this
it's
di-
really difficult. They didn't
this old
discuss
boy
this in
probably
school.
thought he's like, oh fuck, but he I guess they merged and he tagged this person, or he just like was going way too fast and didn't realize that the traffic was going to stop. He rear-ended this Lexus, and like the whole bumper cover of his car was like wrapped up in the ass end of this Lexus. It was fucking brutal. And even that Lexus was like,
That is
no.
expensive. That is
Oh yeah,
expensive.
his
wreck
insurance
on a
company's
Lexus.
gonna fucking drop him. Guarantee it. Here's this next article. It says, man claiming to be from the year 2048 says he's back with a dire warning.
What is his warning?
Bryant Johnson, no related to me, no relation here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's your
he
cousin,
kind of
whatever.
looks like he would be. He's, I think I've got a little bit. It almost like I don't know. This is from the Huffington Post, but like this picture that they have posted, kind of looks like he's got a big booger in his nose. Like that's the kind of guy that would have a booger.
In 2040, they don't worry about
Fuck.
boogers in their noses. They've evolved beyond
But
that.
he, oh shit, issued his grave warning to Casper police Monday night after officers were called about the man and his out-of-this-world message, according to an arrest report obtained. Johnson, who police smelled alcohol, and spoke with slightly slurred speech, allegedly told
Well, if I was from 2040 and had a dire message, I would drink too.
which really, alcohol really doesn't I don't know, like it doesn't. Anytime that I've been drinking a lot, I don't have like insightful shit that like, oh, I'm from the future. Like I'm just like Ah, fuck.
Must not be
guess
drinking the
not.
right
Like, I
stuff.
don't know if he's fucking drinking that fucking, what's it called? Oh. No.
Like
there's
moonshine
that-
or
abstinence. Abstinence.
Everclear,
Isn't
stuff
that
like
what's
that.
isn't
Oh,
that the
abs-
loose unit, whatever?
Yeah, yeah, but that's not that strong. That's not strong enough to
Yeah.
time travel.
Whatever liquor's out there strong enough to make you think you time traveled, let us know. But he allegedly told officers that the aliens were coming next year and we needed to make sure to leave as fast as possible. He refused to speak.
So I have are we talking aliens, outer space aliens, or are we talking aliens like Mexicans?
I'm thinking he's saying like aliens, like out of this world, like extraterrestrial shit.
Oh.
Johnson, who was allegedly found with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.136, which around where we are, the legal limit is 0.08. So he was above that. He's going to jail.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
He's feeling pretty good at the time.
But yeah, well, he refused to speak with nurses or doctors, and instead is on meeting with the president of the town. I guess he was really concerned about
President of the town.
He was very, very drunk. I thought that was kind of humorous.
Yeah. He's very drunk and don't even know that's a mayor.
So here's the.
What's the mayor going to do against the alien invasion?
Oh, it reminds me of those one movies that I don't think they get that much credit. What were those movies? With that old guy. You know what I'm talking about. And like the aliens were always like coming and like it was the guy with the white hair. Man,
like how old are we
these
talking?
movies are old. Oh, Smoking Gun. Is it? They're the.
Like, Leslie Nielsen. You're talking about Leslie
what
Nielsen.
was the Smoking Gun?
Yeah.
Was it that what were they called? Naked Gun. There you
Or
go.
Naked Gun.
I guess it was a
Naked Gun.
pun off of the or another series. I guess it may,
Well, it was a,
Yeah.
a satire on police dramas.
which they're all I don't know. I think there was one of those movies where like there's alien invasions or there every single one of them. I don't remember. I just remember.
Well, no, not in
Yeah.
the Naked Gun movies. I don't believe.
So here's
I think you might be thinking of like
that's
Mars
what,
Attacks.
was he in that?
That's
Wasn't
Tim
that
Burton's
dude? Was that
movie about
old guy in
mid-90s.
that though?
I don't believe so. I think maybe Martin Landau was.
I
He
am
kind of
not
looks
very.
like Leslie Nielsen.
I'm not good with names. Like I know people. Like I know.
Well, it had the great line. It had Jack Nicholson in as the president, and he gives the speech to the nation after Congress got blew up, and he's like, "You still have 2 out of 3 branches of government, and that ain't bad."
Well,
So that
we
still
just shut
cracks
our
me up.
government down not too long ago.
We're pretty much at 2 out of 3 right now. We have a man-child running the
Which brings us
executive
to Mike Pence walks out of an NFL game over kneeling protest. Which I'm not very active on Twitter, but in which honestly, like, I know your views on this, but you can speak them. But like, what the fuck? Like, why do we give, a vice president or the president like? Since when do they get social media accounts that they can express on? Like,
Well, they've had a social
Right.
media. I mean, anyone has it. You're all a citizen, but you got to be a little more mindful when you're the
Yeah.
president of what you're saying. Be a little more professional.
Yeah.
You're representing the country. You or I get on there and start saying a bunch of nonsense.
but
No
their
one cares.
shits, I've got all
President's a
their,
different
I've
story.
got Vice President
Yeah.
Pence tweets right here in this article. Nope, you hear that?
Sound a little
Did you hear
canned.
that? That was the dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's grunting. He's stretching.
So a lot of people are thinking it was a planned event. He
Oh,
went there
yeah.
knowing that they would
He-
kneel, so he can make a
left
big
that
stink and
football
walk
game 'cause
out and make a
they
show
kneeled.
of it. I mean, he could have been leaving because it's the Colts and they stink. But
Oh, did you hear that noise?
as soon as the national anthem was over, the
That was the
game might have
which
been over.
listeners probably don't know, but I have an English. He's about a 2-year-old English Mastiff. So if you ever hear like grunts and like ear flaps and stuff like that, like him shaking around, it's probably him.
He's
Yeah,
about the size of a Shetland pony.
I wish I'm in the garage right now recording this, and I've got a gymnastics mat laid out for him so he can lay down. Oh, that was my phone. But anyway, so the vice president pin. I'll read some of these tweets, but which I didn't know what POTUS was. Like, what does POTUS mean? I did not
President
fucking
of
know
the United
that.
States.
I had to ask my wife that. I was like,
Well, because no one
Yeah.
can type out the full thing anymore.
hey,
Because no one can
that sounds
spell.
like
No
every
one
day
knows
in our
English
fucking
language.
job. Let's making acronyms for fucking
Yeah,
everything.
Acronyms, and you got to try to figure out what they mean.
They said I left today's Colts game because POTUS and I will not dignify any
Dignify.
event that disrespects our soldiers, our flag, or of our national anthem. No, Choose saying hi. I don't know. He's right here by the mic. He's probably really confused why I'm talking and nobody else is here. Anyway.
So I don't necessarily see kneeling as a disrespectful
Yeah, I mean,
act.
if you were...
I mean, who's the person? I mean, I want to see the law or the rule that says everyone has
Right.
to stand with their hand over their heart and all the. I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like more of a social norm
Yeah.
than a written law. So
Yeah,
what you choose to
it's
do
like,
is your
I
decision.
mean, who gives a fuck? Like,
I think a lot of this stems from kind of an overreaction. I've been watching this. I've been watching the Ken Burns documentary on the Vietnam War, and it kind of talks into the whole home front and how them soldiers were treated when they were over there and they came
Oh,
back and they
yeah.
were treated like crap. And it's a black spot on our country for how these guys were treated. So we've kind of realized that over the years, and we've gone to extremes to try not to do that with the recent wars. But instead of hitting a median, we've gone to another extreme and it needs to slide back a little bit. We can honor these guys and what they do without having to just go to just nonsense all the time, fighting about this little ticky-tack
with
thing.
this,
I mean, if you really want to honor the guys, don't send them into
with the-
hellholes.
all this is
That's
like,
kinda my
I mean,
opinion.
what's this covering up? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be a fucking conspiracy theorist or nothing. This is covering something big or anything. This whole deal. No,
I don't
it's
know if
like,
it's
I
covering
don't know.
something
It's
big.
just like, let's get their attention off of this.
I mean, we're talking about Trump here. It ain't that much of a plan going on here.
Which he said something to the media not too long ago. What did he say? I can't even remember. There's so much stupidity that happens every time he opens his mouth. I can't even. God, this dog won't stop grunting.
I don't know. I think sometimes, I mean, granted, he puts his foot in his mouth on a daily basis, but he also, I think people go to extreme worrying about him too. He's just an old senile old man.
Did you hear that? Yeah, he's yawning.
Yeah.
So, if you're.
It's like I mean, did you see the video of him in Puerto Rico earlier this week throwing
he
the
was
paper
throwing
towels?
him
at
he was
people?
throwing at him?
Oh, and there everyone's going crazy.
Oh,
He was doing little
fuck.
jump shots, which I mean, it's not really becoming of a president, but
Yeah.
it wasn't the worst thing in the world either. It's like he's.
I would have
he's
been
a
more
moron, people.
entertained
Get
if he
over
was
it.
just like pelting these fucking paper towels at the. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Here's paper towels.
Just. I mean, granted, they could instead of paper towels,
Or
maybe a few
fucking
generators
cans of
to get the power
food
back
or
on.
a bottle
Would have
of
been
water.
more helpful, but
Here's fucking paper
Yeah.
towels. You don't have
Bottle of
anything to
water.
clean up with these, but here's fucking paper towels.
as soon as we get the water turned back on, and if you spill a little bit, you can clean it up.
Oh shit. Well, so we have already talked about this a little bit, and I don't know if listeners, which there's probably gonna be like 5. I don't know if they have listened to this, but right here, let me get to the article here on the old iPad. I'm gonna play this clip. I don't think
old
you've
interwebs.
heard this yet, but this is rapper B.O.B. and his whole ordeal about the flat.
I'm
I
a
don't
huge
even know what
B.O.B.
he
fan.
sings. Or
Love the
does
guy.
that sound dumb? When
don't have
I
a
don't know
clue.
what this artist sings. I mean, I don't know what he raps about. Like I don't really know. Like, I've never heard a B.O.B. song. Maybe I'll try to find one here in a second. But this is B.O.B. talking about his GoFundMe. This is you're gonna thoroughly enjoy this.
I'd like to thank everybody who donated to the cause. Your contributions are greatly appreciated. However, I made a few alterations to the campaign by raising
You can hear this,
the
right?
original amount from 200,000 to $1 million because I feel like a lot of people have made a lot of valid suggestions. So I have come to the conclusion that instead of just sending one satellite or several satellites into space.
All right. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
He's set up this GoFundMe, and he's, wanting $1 million because, this fucker don't want to put up his own money. I mean, why the fuck would you want to? Yeah. Let's
Of
use
course
everybody
not.
else's
Yeah,
money,
it's
which I
crazy
don't know
talk.
if this dumb son of a bitch realizes that
Yeah.
they're going to fucking, GoFundMe's going to take their cut of this. But here's the rest of this.
I will be raising funds to try every available experiment and test, including but not limited to weather balloons, drones, blimps even.
Blimps even.
Blimps, drones.
What the? I mean, a blimp. Like,
I think he's going to need a little bit more than $1 million to buy. a
what
blimp.
was it like?
I
The
don't think
fucking
anyone's told him about
Hindenburg or
that
some
yet.
shit? Like, he's just going to send up a blimp, and it's just going to, like, I see on the side of this blimp, it's just going to say B.O.B. on the
may be
side
able
of it.
He might be able to get a hell of a
Yeah.
drone from Radio
Oh,
Shack
man,
before
you
they go
don't hardly
completely
see any
under.
of those stores anymore. But it's like, I mean,
Yeah, you ain't
what
gonna see it
people are
much
gonna be like,
longer.
what the fuck? Like, people think of the Goodyear blimp, but it's like, what the fuck is a Bob blimp? Like, I don't even know what BOB
Not here
stands
for the Super
for,
Bowl.
but I mean, it's just Bob. Like, there's just
The
a little
Bob
bit
blimp.
more of this.
High altitude balloons and whatever else, or any type of suggestion that anybody has. So, yeah. So I'll be documenting this whole process, and
All
I'll keep
right,
everybody-
then he
So-
just keeps on going, but.
So what's Bob's mission here with the blimp, with the
I guess to
the
prove,
weather balloons?
I think
I mean, is he trying to prove something
I think
valid?
he's
You
trying
know,
to prove
global
that
warming or
the Earth is flat.
or pollution?
That's his whole. That's where he's getting at. Is he is, the.
I'd hate to tell Bob, but I think that's been settled a long time ago. I think they did that for a
Well,
lot less
the
money than $1
thing
million.
is, like, he's already succeeded. He's already made headlines over this shit. So it's like,
So how's he planning on experimenting here to prove that the Earth is round with the weather balloon?
is he gonna analyze this data? I guess, like,
or flat, I
don't-
should say.
Uh,
So you and I have actually heard this with coworkers as well. So I did not realize that this was such a
yeah.
common theory out there. I thought this was fairly well settled that the Earth was round, but we are hearing this more and more
I mean,
that the Earth is flat.
Climate change.
So
The night and day. I mean,
well, I don't know if climate change.
yeah,
would,
maybe not climate change.
really prove
Time
the Earth is
zones,
round.
definitely,
I mean, like
yeah.
you said, time
Like, if
zones.
it-
How do we explain time zones? How do we explain the round shape that goes across the moon when we have a lunar eclipse? I mean, how do you
Those are
explain the
fake.
pictures
Those
from
are fake,
space
right.
that shows
I mean, I
a
don't-
round Earth? I think this is in the days
No,
before Photoshop.
Well, then wasn't there like, I mean, I guess like the first people that actually, I don't know who the first people were to discover that the world was round, but then they have like two poles or two fucking sticks out of the ground, and it casts shadows.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they did it. It was the ancient Greeks were the first ones to discover this. Is what, 2,400 years ago. So people, always try to give Columbus credit or not. But lots of people had already figured out that the Earth was round a long time before that. Apparently, Bob didn't get the message, but
Oh, here, Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeted, "Dude, to be clear, being 5 centuries regressed in your reasoning doesn't mean we all can't still like your music.
So speaking of Neil deGrasse Tyson, he had a very good tweet recently where it says, freedom of speech allows you to say whatever you want to say. You're allowed to say whatever you want to say, but it doesn't mean what you say is
That's
right.
very true.
That goes,
I mean,
Mr.
what?
Bob.
That's not a very good rap
Mr. Bob's
name
allowed
either.
to say that
Like,
the Earth is flat all he
do
wants.
you really expect people to actually? I mean, we are, because there's periods in there. But like, if they're like, "Hey, have you heard that new Bob song?" I'm like, "What is that?" Like, what?
I think I'm going to take Neil deGrasse Tyson's word on this one over Bob.
Most definitely. I mean, I'm still trying to even make sense of why he would even think that the Earth is flat. Like,
Yeah, but like you and I have encountered this recently. I don't understand it. I mean, I thought this was taught in school. I thought you learned this in science class. I mean, you can see it. I mean, how do you explain a boat disappearing over the horizon with the bottom first?
Yeah.
It's just not falling off. I mean, it's going somewhere. It's disappearing over the horizon. I mean, if you go high enough in an airplane, you can see the curvature of the Earth. You know, even
yeah.
honestly, like some weather balloons. If you had a camera, you had a GoPro, put it to it, or even this guy that jumped out of that air balloon a while back, set that record. They're showing the video from his when he was getting ready to take off. You can see the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, and like you
I mean,
would
it's not all
think,
fake.
like if it was flat, let's just like, all right, let's just put a big fucking bullet train from here to there, and you could just fucking do everything by a fucking train because it's flat.
So how does Bob explain? How does he explain being able to fly from like Tokyo, head west, and end up in San Francisco, or head
His
east and
rap
head
career
go over through Europe?
Probably never even
I mean, if you
involved
had-
going over there. A few major cities here and there. Yeah,
it just baffles me. This day and age, you can believe nonsense like this.
oh god.
So I got one I want to touch on before we kind of close up shop today. This is kind of more in your wheelhouse here. It's about this woman who got eyeball tattoo, may lose her eye, and now she's warning others. So I don't know if folks at home, most people know us who listened to our first one. But you have more ink than the Sunday Times, so you're no stranger to the tattoo needle. Would you ever dream of getting your eyeball pierced
That
or
is
eyeball
not even-
tattooed?
That's,
You're letting a guy shoot dye into the sclera of your eye.
that's a
the white
terrible
of your
idea.
eye.
Like I've got I've got my hands tattooed and stuff like that, like my knuckles and shit like that, and that's that shit hurts, and that's like it's tattoos every day. I think gain and like they're getting more socially acceptable every day, and like now this time compared to like fucking 80s or 90s, instead of being looked at as like a social outcast or fucking you're in prison or whatever, but like
Well, especially the women. We see more women with this
my wife's
full
got like a
sleeve
quarter
tattoos,
sleeve.
and that's I've never
No,
I never saw that growing
no,
up. You
it's
see
a
it
way,
lot
and
now, especially the younger
jobs,
girls.
even being more acceptable over that stuff. But which I went a little too far with my fucking tops of my hands and shit. But we're in a fucking factory; they don't give a shit. But to get your eye tattooed, like that isn't even like I've thought of like I haven't, my neck's not done, but I've like thought of ideas like, oh man, I might do the side of my neck or whatever. But like, oh well, I'm gonna fucking tattoo my eye. That isn't even. That's not even. Yeah.
I am so squeamish about my eyes.
Yeah,
I won't even
can't
put
do
a
it.
contact.
I can't put
lens
eye
in.
drops in.
I can
I can do that pussy where you like fucking,
perfect stranger.
you hold up the bottle and you like make it run, like you put it in like on your fucking nose. Yeah, and it just like roll. Yeah,
Tear duct.
That's how
And
I.
let it run in. Yeah. I don't let some guy at maybe graduated high school stick a needle in my eye.
There's a name for that. They call them
No.
kitchen magicians.
Well, so this young lady here, it says she already has a forked tongue, piercings, and tattoos, and has undergone painful procedures before. So I guess this was her boyfriend at the time.
That's
of a month.
That's a definite testament of a relationship.
Yes, who was say pressuring the young lady to let him tattoo her eye.
Yeah.
She initially said no, like any sane individual would, but you can only take so much. So it's a week or so later, she said that he could go ahead and tattoo her eyeball. So if you can see this picture online, this guy put so much dye into her eyeball, it is running down her face. She has purple dye running out of her eyeball, out of the sclera of her eyeball, down her face. So I guess when you do this, you're supposed to dilute it to start with. So you take the dye. It's actually like a gel, and they dilute it down with saline, and then they do this over multiple injections into the sclera, so that sclera takes on the color that you're trying to tattoo it. Well, Mr. Genius here, full-blown whole load of gel, shot it all up into this young lady's eye and swelled it shut. Eye. Yeah, so they're thinking she might lose her eye. It looks pretty horrible right now. You see the pictures online. Well, to top it off, this wonderful human being that decided to tattoo her eyeball then broke up with her right after this.
And then they're just not together. They've already went through this. I mean.
Yeah. Now, why would he want to date a girl with a glass eye? That's just weird.
What?
Oh my God! You don't let people shoot stuff into your eye.
Yeah.
Unless they got a medical degree and you're losing your eyesight, you don't let people mess with your eyes. And you don't let some jabroni you've been dating for a month do it.
I've got, like I said, you've stated that I've got a lot of tattoos, but that's not even people getting their inside lip tattooed and shit. I don't have that done, but people do that shit just to be different, I guess. But why? I don't understand what's appealing. I guess are you gonna have it if you're gonna get your eye tattooed? Just get some of those fucking contact lenses. You can pick.
Yeah. So this is not reversible either. This is not something you could do the laser treatments on and try to remove. Once it's done, it's done. You're going to be a 90-year-old old lady in the nursing home eating your oatmeal with purple eyes.
I don't know why I didn't think of that solution, but till just now. But just get some of those fucking cheap. There's a site out there where yeah.
Well, that actually just over the iris.
No.
This is actually the sclera. This is a whole eyeball going to a different color. I don't know. You have a lot of tattoos. Do you ever regret certain ones?
I would have done differently.
Is there some you kind of wish
way different? Because some of them I paid to get done twice. Because the first one I decided to do, I was gonna go to a dude's basement, and that was a fucking terrible idea. But he was never like, "Hey, let's tattoo your eye. That's a great idea."
I don't know. I mean, you got a lot on your arms, but you can always put a long sleeve shirt on or something like that and cover them up. I mean, first thing people see is your eyes a lot of times.
Yeah.
You meet someone new, you're looking them in the eye.
That poor girl. I would like to have
understand
the conversation that went down. Hey, so, I'm gonna tattoo your eyeball. How does that conversation? Nope, fuck you. Not doing it.
I don't think so.
How does? Yeah.
No, please. No, please.
Well, okay, I guess I trust you.
Good Lord.
You've got
We've been
legit tattoo equipment. I mean, if you didn't know what you were doing, you wouldn't have the right equipment to do it. Which.
So all he had though was he had numbing eye drops, a syringe, and this gel.
Which I couldn't imagine getting a tattoo machine. I didn't. It's an injection then.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an injecting it into that area of your eye. I mean, we've all met guys that have tattoo guns, but. We kind of know how it generally happens is the guy has a tattoo gun in his basement.
This motherfucker go to Roll King or something and get a fucking syringe and fucking melt down crayons or some shit and fucking Yeah.
I'm sure it's Amazon.
Like,
You can get anything you want off Amazon.
I mean, what? How does he even know? Like is it toxic? Like, did he already know that this shit was toxic before he put it into this woman's eye?
Well, I'm assuming that the level of the solution that he put in, it was pretty toxic by the look of her face right now.
Yeah,
It looks like she
the
got
picture almost looks
socked
like it's
in
like a
her eye.
black,
It's so
like a
swollen.
black light type shit.
Yeah.
But what? Why would you want? And you're
Yeah.
oh, you
It
can see
is
my tattooed
gnarly.
eyes when you go under the black light. Like what? That's oh. Me and my wife did not discuss this article, which I don't even know if she knows. And she probably does. She keeps up with that type of shit, but because she has tattoos as well, and she just got a nose piercing. But, yeah, that'll grow up.
Yeah, but that nose
know,
piercing can come out.
but-
That'll heal.
Now I'm fucking tattoo in your eye.
No, don't mess with your eyes, people.
So, yeah.
The poor girl. A valuable
So
life lesson.
now we come to a point of the show where we're going to have a dude of the week. And
So what are we going to
which
call
it
a
could
criteria
be,
for the dude of the week?
a current event, but also if it's like so epic, like I'm going to save Jeff Bridges for just an epic time because he is the dude.
Yeah. You are looking for
Yes.
someone who embodies the dude principles.
Mellow,
Someone who's
likes to have a
mellow,
beverage,
laid back,
ball a
doesn't
few
get too worked up
frames.
about everything.
Just mellow.
Yeah.
So we
Just
didn't
kick
really
back and
have
relax.
there was no
Not get all
debate
worked up.
on who the dude of this week would be, and we thought it should be Tom Petty.
Yes, with his untimely passing, I feel like he embodies the dudely principles. And he is known for being a pretty
Yes.
mellow guy.
Hang
He get
out,
worked up, like
in
play some
which-
tunes, just hang out. I think he
Yes,
smoked a
but, you know, it's
few
almost legal. I mean,
recreational substances here and there. Nothing too serious.
wonder how many albums
Yeah.
that he
It is
had. Like,
California now. Well, I know. I don't. I know he did 3 himself, and then how many? I mean, I'm probably guessing teens with the Heartbreakers.
oh really? Oh, it's
I mean, they just finished up a tour last week too. That's what's sad about it. Disc got off the road. I seen a story about him recently. It kind of illustrates the doodly principles of him, where there's a number of times different artists have kind of taken some of his copyright material. They've sampled some of his songs and tried to make them their own. You know, you've seen this in the past. Metallica's the big one that comes to mind. Someone steals or they try
Yeah.
to sample or do this and that, and they just go completely out of their minds with litigation, suing, gonna do this and that. And in his case, he's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of, people honoring him
All right.
for the work he did. He
Yeah.
just didn't. What's the point in getting worked up about it? It's a
Yeah.
song.
So Tom
that
Petty,
illustrates the
you
dude
have,
right there.
You are the official dude of the week, the first
First.
on the
Very
fascist
first
alternative,
Dude of the week.
in which we were gonna follow this up by what was it? No, I don't even know which is almost at the end of this podcast. So the dog is crying. I think he's gotta go to the
The dog is about done. So we kind of talked about this earlier. I don't know if we'll do
Yeah.
it this week, but what about the
Yeah.
douche of the week? We have the dude of the week.
Yeah, we'll start off the next
The
one.
douche. Maybe we start off the next podcast
Yeah.
with the douche of the week.
Yeah.
I like ending on a high
Next
note
time
with the dude
we'll
of the week.
go
Give
with
someone
the
something to
douche,
strive
and
for.
then followed up with the dude.
I worry about the douche of the week because I think the next 3.5 years, the douche of the week is pretty much taken up.
He does a pretty good job of it.
So- yeah, he does a very good job of being a douche.
Well, I don't even know what that dog is. He's scratching at something in the corner, but that's where we're gonna hit this outro music. And thank you for tuning into the Fascist Alternative. I have been Timmy Johnson, and that has been Ryan Anderson, and thank you for tuning in. And please give us those ratings on iTunes. We'd appreciate it. Thank you. Till next week.